You're watching ESPN Esports. My name is Ardo Cal, here with Nate Hill of FaZe Clan, who is competing here this weekend at Arthur Ashe Stadium at the Fortnite World Cup in his hometown, New York City, just outside, actually, right?
Yes. Well, I grew up in Pennsylvania, but I live in Jersey City.
Okay.
So close enough.
So you're going to have a lot of friends and family here this weekend.
I've got, I think, 12 at least coming up.
Nice.
To support, yeah.
Do you know where they are? Did you get them good seats?
I did not.
You didn't? You put them in
They
the nosebleeds?
bought their own seats, so I was like, I don't know what I can do for you guys.
So let's talk about qualification. It's very difficult to qualify for this tournament as it is, but just take us through your process and how you felt when you finally knew that you'd be coming to New York City.
So the qualifiers were 10 weeks, I think, so two and a half months of opportunity. For those 2.5 months, I remember I had absolutely no life. It was 8 hours, 10 hours of gaming every day, just practicing, scrimming, mechanics, creative, all kinds of stuff. And finally, I think week 4, we qualified for the duos portion, and just a huge sigh of relief that all of this training that I've been doing for honestly a year and a half up to that point has finally come to fruition and paid off.
So take us through that year and a half. How many hours a day would that be? What are you working on in that time?
So I started playing Fortnite about a month after it came out, and for the first 3 months, I think I played 14 hours a day. I was just addicted completely. And this was even before I made any money off of it or got any recognition off of it. It was only after 3-4 months that I started streaming and started to build a community of people that like to watch and just hang out. And from there, it's just been probably 8 hours a day of just playing and trying to get better. And also trying to teach kids to get better in the game and just life in general.
Well, speaking of kids, you are surrounded by them. I mean, the age range here, when we asked Fortnite PR, was 14 to 24. And
I'm at the end of the spectrum.
That's correct. You are the 24. So now you are surrounded by all of these younger competitors, maybe a couple that are the same age as you. What are you feeling when you're walking around here? You see the stage, you see them as well. You're meeting all of these competitors. What's going on in your mind?
It's pretty interesting because when I was that age, I couldn't even fathom this being an opportunity for someone of that age. And I think the average age is around 16 and a half. And I look around at these practice facilities or the lunchrooms or whatever, and I don't recognize half of them, or more than half of them. Well, and they come from different regions as well, but all the tournaments leading up to this have always been a closer group of people.
Sure. There
was an age restriction for a while, so I'm missing a lot of the faces that I normally would see. But yeah, I kind of feel like everyone's dad out here, because there's kids that are up to my waist playing games that are just as good as me. It's pretty insane.
So normally, some people watching this interview may not necessarily have watched an esports tournament before, and when they hear these age ranges, they might be used to traditional sports where people play well into their 30s. But some people have even said in their teens, I will retire by the time I'm 24, but here you are competing at the Fortnite World Cup. But how much of an advantage, if any, would somebody who's much younger, a 14-year-old, have over someone who's in their 20s?
An advantage, there's advantages and disadvantages to both. I think as a young kid, you're maybe more in love with the game and just the opportunity in general, because I don't know, you just always want to stay up late and play games with your friends, where as you get older you have real life experiences that you want to do, like travel or meet people. So but also those things, I think in a giant LAN environment like this, having real life experience and adversities is good to kind of ground you and keep you or make you ready for this opportunity.
Would you say, this is going to be quite the experience, particularly for someone who's very young, to see 20,000 people watching them play. Would you say that in that sort of situation, maybe you have a little bit of an advantage?
I think in that situation, I do have an advantage, especially because, not everyone knows this, but a lot of people, I modeled for 8 years out of high school, and I've walked.
You have wonderful hair, I have
to say. Thank you very much.
Maybe the nicest hair in the tournament.
So I've
one nice head of hair to another.
I've done all this. I've walked in front of thousands of people by myself, and everybody looking at you. So I'm not, it's much different. You're playing and showing off your skills, but I'm kind of used to that, where all these little kids, they just been in school or sheltered in their house and haven't really experienced much outside of life. So I'm hoping that they see all these people and then get nervous
So a lot of esports competitors aren't necessarily big personalities. Now that you've had a modeling career, so really the spotlight is on you a lot of the time when you're walking a runway or in print ads or whatever it is. Exactly, a photo shoot. So do you relish the idea of having that spotlight on you with so many people? Is that exciting to you?
Oh, I love it. Like, and I even like doing media and stuff like this, where a lot of people, I'm sure, it's the worst thing and like scarier for them to even do this than play the game. But yeah, having that. I don't know. I'm not a huge attention seeker, but I do kind of relish the moment. Yeah.
So let's talk about the tournament itself. You talked about passion and how those younger competitors may really love the game. Where is your love with the game right now, and how passionate are you with Fortnite?
Well, the thing is, like, when I first started playing, I was just completely enamored by the game and just addicted like wholly. But I think once you add like a monetary value to what you're doing, it kind of becomes work and feels like work a little bit, especially because you have to grind every day to try to improve yourself. It's like a sport where I think everyone loves it when you're playing the actual competitions and such, but the practice and stuff can be tedious. But it's just something you have to do if you want to be the best. So,
one thing I found, of course. One thing I found interesting in the press conference that you and many of the other competitors were at earlier was I asked all of you what motivates you the most. Is it the glory or the money? And all the younger competitors said, no, the glory. I want to raise that trophy. And you were the first one to say the money. I'm motivated by the money.
Sure. I think I don't know. I think that's kind of what they thought they should say. But I mean, like I said, $1.5 million. That's life changing. Of course. You set yourself up for your entire life. And then you can venture out and do whatever you want to do. And like I said before, I have won big tournaments or come very high placing in these big tournaments, but a lot of these people don't even understand what that means, and like they don't kind of appreciate where you even place. Unless you're first, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So of course I want to make as much money as possible to set myself up later in life.
So after this tournament, after this season ends, so to speak, what would motivate you to continue to compete in Fortnite esports?
Well, I'm hoping with the recent updates that Epic's been doing competitively, it's been getting better and better. And I'm thinking they're going to keep doing events weekly or even daily to kind of keep all the content guys and even the pros interested in the game for the prize incentives and the glory incentives as well. And I'll still be interested after this. Yeah, I think I might take a little break just because it's been very taxing mentally, being in a dark room all day playing a game that you're just grinding for. But I think I'll definitely come back and keep playing competitively.
One question regarding just the competition itself and the changes in the game. That's a big topic of conversation that the players have. You know, this item got released a day before a major tournament, etc. Now, to Fortnite's credit, the circle predicting,
the Storm Scout sniper.
the Storm Scout has been disabled for the Fortnite World Cup, but airstrikes have been are part of the tournament because that was an early enough update.
Sure.
So what I'm asking is, what kind of time frame would be acceptable to you as a pro, or would you like to see in terms of changes to the game, especially meta-changing ones?
I think meta changes should be give you, I think, a month. Because especially with season changes, they are so groundbreaking and different. From season to season, the game is completely different. Like this season came with slipstreams and giant spaceships that are on max build height, where you can shoot people across the map, and it's very hard to adjust to. Especially in the past, there have been tournaments where they've been scheduled, and then a week before the season changes.
Sure.
So the drop spots have changed. All cities are different. And weapon pools are different. It's just sometimes it's too much, and it needs to be simplified a little bit for the competitive side.
What about map changes?
Yeah, that too. Like you can't, because you can practice for months and months on your land spot, make it perfect, and then a day before the tournament, they're like, that doesn't exist anymore. Adapt, which it's crazy. It just wouldn't ever happen in any other sport. You're not going to go play basketball and be like, oh, you're playing in sandals now. It's essentially the same thing. So I hope they keep giving us more time to practice.
Last question for you. Many people watching this certainly will be fans of yours. What do you have to say to your fans as they cheer you on here at the Fortnite World Cup?
Well, I just have to say, thank you so much to them. I have one of the best communities, I think, of just super supportive people who only have nice things to say and to me and each other. So I'm super thankful for them. Without them, I really wouldn't be where I am today. So I think pretty much everything I owe to them.
The very old
and wise.
Old in heavy quotation marks, might I add. Nate Hill joining us here. Good luck at the Fortnite World Cup, my friend.
Thank you very much.